Hello and welcome to Simply Beautiful Sourdough. I'm Nancy Ann, and today we are going to be doing a score that maximizes and utilizes the direction of tension on a batard to make the score spread and make the batard appear just a little bit longer. I do want you to know every single thing I am using today. I have an affiliate link with Amazon in the description box, or something as close to it as I can find because some of the things have been discontinued. And I will also pin those to the top of the comments as soon as I am able after the video comes out. So this is a 500 flour gram loaf. I do have all of the ingredients also listed in the description box below, and it has poppy seeds, and I do my poppy seeds at 5% or 25 grams for this loaf. The poppy seed weight, of course, goes off of flour, so 5% of 500 is 25. Alrighty, so we're going to take the bread sling, love this thing, and I'm going to put it right over top, and then I'm going to take my turntable, just a cheap Wilton turntable. I purchased this one at Joann Fabrics, but like I said, I do have a link in the description box if you want to go Amazon, which is often easier. And I'm going to lift my towel off. I do not have rice flour on this towel. I found I don't need it. The bread itself is 72.5% hydration. So I'm going to take my water bottle, just a simple, and I'm going to spray it because we're going to get our white rice flour to stick. Some people don't do this. I do. I'm always a big one on erring on the side of caution. Because my bread is all white bread flour with this one, it is sinking a little bit on me, so I'm going to try and move fairly quickly. I'm going to sprinkle my rice flour. It's just in this plain dredger. You can also just put some on your hands and try wiping it over. Same thing with the water. You don't need a sprayer. You can just dip your hands in some water and then smooth them over the loaf too. You don't need nearly as many tools as I'm using. I've just collected them over the years. As I explained in my last video, which was a tutorial with my updated methods on how to make a loaf of sourdough from beginning to end. I will put that in the thumbnail at the very end. Also, stick around to the end. We may have some bloopers. Oftentimes my husband finds things, stuff I forgot to delete, goofs I make going along that we cut out in interest of time for those of you who are most interested in just seeing the scoring. Alrighty, I have this little brush here. This came with my bannetons, by the way. I'm going to go over to the sink and I'm going to brush this excess bread flour out from around the loaf. That is just to keep it from making a mess in my Dutch oven. So I am going to use what is called a UFO lom, and I'm also going to use dental floss, my two big tools. Now I do have a traditional lom like this. I never use it. So if you're looking to buy a lom for your sourdough and you're interested in intricate scoring, I would really suggest a UFO lom. It's called a UFO lom because of the way that it is shaped. Also, I have a hard time getting this edge to catch and make a cut. It just really struggles to pull through. I think I'm just so used to this that I've grown accustomed to it, and it's what works best for me. But first we're going to start off with our dental floss. So we're going to go on a diagonal angle, and we're going to go as close to the middle as we can. I'm getting right over my loaf here. I'm going to do 3 of these, fairly evenly spaced across the top here. Okay, and now I'm going to do other ones going about halfway across. This is where my wheat stalks will be. Nah, a little more than halfway, probably 2/3. Want them to stretch across. So I'm going to do the wheat stalks first because these are the main scores. The long ones are the main scores, and I don't want to get them spreading right away. Now, the direction of tension on a batard is this way. So this is going to take advantage of that and help this spread out. You can also do this score on a boule, but I will tell you it will turn it into more of a batard than a boule. So be ready for a change in the shape of your dough. But we're going to start off with the wheat stalks. Make sure you can see. I'm going to do a little line at the end, and then I'm going to come down. Now I want to come in pretty deep here and the lines on wheat stalks should go more straight than out. If you go out, it's going to look more like a palm leaf when you get done. So here's the next one. I'm going to do these in opposing directions, nice and deep, and then I'm going to come down. You want these to be nice and deep so that they'll be pulled. At least I like them nice and deep. If you want something where the wheat stalks aren't pulling so much apart, then go ahead and make them shallower. This line is crooked. This is one of the reasons why I like using the dental floss, because it helps me get a little more exacting with my lines. It's the same thing here. The other side. All right, there is our decorative scoring. Easy peasy. I do not do the line down the middle because it starts splitting and it doesn't look like a wheat stalk at all by the time we're done. I'm going to go in here and just go a little bit deeper. I think I could have deepened those up. Alrighty, now we're going to do our functional scores. Now, one thing I'm going to do on this that I usually don't do, and I learned this when I did this score before, is I am going to go in after 12 minutes of bake time, and I'm going to do an expansion score. So I'll explain that to you when it happens. But for now, I'm going to go nice and deep on my main scores. Really deep here. Want them to spread nicely. I found out that when I don't do the expansion score, it tears my design. The wheat stalks will rip. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I usually don't do it. I'm not sure that they really serve a lot of purpose, but in this case I know it will. Alrighty, this is going to go into my preheated Dutch oven. It's preheated to 500 degrees. I'm going to put it down in there using the bread sling. I'm going to lower the oven temperature to 425 degrees. I'm going to let it bake for 12 minutes, and then I will come back and show you how I do the expansion score. While my dough is in the oven baking for 12 minutes until I can get to the expansion score, there's a couple things I did want to tell you. Per usual, I only heated the Dutch oven to 500. I left the lid off and then I put the cool lid on top. That seems to help me with dough expansion and oven spring. Also, that expansion score is done at 12 minutes because I found with my 500 gram flour loaves and at the 72.5% hydration, it needs that much time. A lot of people will do an expansion score as soon as 5 minutes. I think that depends on the size of the loaf and also the hydration. So what you want with the expansion score is for it to be dry just a little bit under the surface so that when you pull the lamb through, it doesn't kind of drag on the wetter dough right underneath there. I had that problem before at 10 minutes, so I knew this time to increase it to 12, so hopefully things will go well. So you need to kind of experiment with this a time or two before you figure out the whole expansion score thing. All right, I'll be back with the expansion score itself. So here we are with our loaf, and I'm going to move quickly with expansion scores because I do not want it to be out of the oven for too long. I'm being very careful to go right underneath. Whoops, messed up a little bit there. Hopefully that'll be okay on both sides. And I'm just going to switch back and forth here so that I have the best angle visually on this. This should keep my wheat stalks here from tearing. Yeah, and this was better doing 12 minutes for sure. Whoops, hit my camera, sorry about that. Now, one thing that doing an expansion score can do is create a kind of secondary line in the middle. excuse me, off to the side. So I'll have like one in the middle where it originally split with your first score, and then it will have another one kind of off to the sides. We'll see if that happens, but it'll have additional lines on each side where you did the expansion score too, kind of a little divot. All right, she's going to go back in the oven for another 28 minutes for a total of 40 minutes bake time at 425 degrees covered. It is time to take a look and see how that expansion score worked and did the design tear. I don't know if we're going to get our normal puff of steam because I did open it after 12 minutes of baking and probably lost a lot of steam then. But let's see. Oh, little steam. Oh, that turned out good, good, good. I'm tickled pink. Yeah, the expansion scores work. Now, can you see what I was talking about? After 40 minutes in the oven, this is pretty much all the way baked. The extra 20 minutes I'm going to put it in is just for browning. But you can see here, see those little lines? That's where I made the expansion scores. So that's one thing when you do an expansion score partway into the bake that you do sacrifice, is having a smoother belly. But in this case, it was worth it to me to not have my designs tear. So I think, there we go, this turned out pretty good, all things considered. Alrighty, I'm just going to stick this right back in the oven, still at 425 degrees for another 20 minutes, and I'll see you with the final bake. Well, here she is, fresh out of the oven. I'm so glad I did that expansion score. Last time it tore, this time I used the expansion score, and it worked out. And this is a simple score. All you need to do it is a lom and some dental floss, and you've got it. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this video enjoyable, helpful, informative, any of those good things, please do squish the like button, helps it so much. Also, hit that subscribe button. That tells me that I should continue making content for this channel. Hello and welcome to Simply Beautiful Sourdough. Today we're going to be doing a score that takes advantage of the direction of tension on a batard. Let's try again. Jeez Louise. While I'm waiting, golly, I can't talk. While I'm waiting 12 minutes for my bread to bake enough to do the expansion score, I do want to explain. So I spend with the oven, oh, geez, Ruger.